What's good, people? It's about that time to randomly relate reverse rants. No hate. You guys saw the thumbnail. Now, today is Monday. What was day? 28th, 29th? What was today? What is today? I just want to be sure. Yeah, today is the 28th. Okay. So, Jaems Toney has one on record. And he said, and I told y'all I was going to find it. I told you. But he said Muhammad Ali wasn't the greatest of all times. Roy Jones says Ali is the greatest of all times. And if you don't think so, he got no respect for you. He said, if you have no respect for Muhammad Ali, right, how can I respect you? Okay, notice something. All Roy Jones did was put his foot in his mouth. And all Floyd did was say facts as far as when he said, wasn't Ali the same guy that lost to a guy that only had 7 pro fights? You know how stupid you sound if you say, yeah, but Leon had a lot of amateur fights and then him and his brother. Shut the fuck up. If Floyd Mayweather lost to a guy with only 7 fights, y'all would never, ever let that go. If Floyd right now lost to a guy that only has 7 fights, you wouldn't let it go. Yeah, ha, he lost. Funny thing, he never said Ali was trash. He never said Ali was garbage. He just don't see Ali the way other people do. You know, his favorite heavyweight is Larry Holmes. Okay, now hold up. Jaems Toney said when Ali was Cassius Clay, he was great. But Ali is trash. He wanted to be like Ray Robinson. Ray Robinson was his idol. He tried to fight like him, but he couldn't. That is what Jaems Toney said. Now, my opinion isn't necessary. I agree with, he looked up to Ray Robinson part. He danced around and moved, and, but in terms of their fight style, no, he didn't fight like him. But I'm not even going to get into my opinion, okay? But you look at them fight, and you see if they fought similar. The movement was kind of similar, but Ray Robinson never danced as much as Ali did. Let's be real. And Ali crafted his own style. But let's go. He said that. He called him trash. He said Ali was trash. Jaems Toney said the only 2 fighters on earth, dead or alive, that was born to fight was him and Ray Robinson. So that means he's excluding Roy Jones as well. Okay? Now, I saw Jaems Toney make a video, which I posted, where he said if he had to train for Roy Jones, we'd have never heard of Roy Jones again. Now, I also saw a video of him where, the interviewer, these interviewers love to glaze the fuck out of these fighters when they're in front of them. And then they'll disrespect another fighter and then glaze that fighter that they disrespect when they're in front of them. So anyway, the motherfucker says to him, so if you had to train for that fight or whatever, but you didn't properly train it. And Jaems Toney goes, well, I didn't, but he still beat me though, So I don't know. Maybe he saw some videos, some of mine, that might have made him go, all right, I am making excuses now. Because like I said, that's not Roy Jones' problem. I don't care who the fighter is, if you don't prepare properly, that's your problem. That's all a part of the fight game. How the fuck do you go to the ring not prepared? That's not your opponent's problem. I don't care nothing about you fucking Japanese women hanging out with Bobby Brown, like Burt Cooper when he fought George Foreman, how he sat there all nonchalantly. Man, I was out partying, man. It's time to fight. Time to fight George Foreman. I'm thinking about going to bed, man. Okay, well, you're irresponsible. And that's no excuse. It goes to show you, see, greatness, okay, even being good, comes down to having discipline. Example, whatever you do for a living. You ever had that coworker that know they got to be to work 7 o'clock in the morning, but the motherfucker out and party all night and don't get home to 4? Then he's bitching because he's tired. Man, I was out chilling, man. Motherfuckers on my back because I came a little bit late. I'm tired as hell, man. I ain't get home to 4. Whose fucking problem is that? You knew you had to work the next day. Okay, no excuse for these fucking fighters. Foreman just whooped your ass, Bert Cooper, that's all. Every time somebody loses and they can't just say the better man won, it has to be. I don't respect motherfuckers like that. I don't. Now, here's the deal. Is Muhammad Ali now going to want to fight Jaems Toney? I mean, they're both heavyweights, right? Floyd Mayweather, here's the funny thing. And this is how stupid you motherfuckers are. So the real ones, you already know what it is. But you stupid ones. You notice how Roy keeps saying, Floyd saying this, Floyd ain't say shit. The only fucking person bumping their gums is you. Floyd simply sat there watching you get knocked the fuck out. We seen all those knockouts. It obviously pissed you off because I guess through all the talking you do, you wanted people to forget that even happened. But you make it your business for years. You guys, you, the Shane Mosleys, all you bitter, the Manny Pacquiao's, all you motherfuckers that then got your ass kicked by Floyd, and all you motherfuckers that can't surpass Floyd, and all of y'all that fell off thinking y'all was going to be what Floyd is now, y'all are some bitter people. At the end of the day, y'all can all get together and sit there and go from gym to gym. Who you think had a better prime? Roy or Floyd? Who you think had a better prime? Notice nobody's saying who you think had a better career. See, bitch-made motherfuckers take shortcuts. You're the ones with the prime. Nah. Your entire career is what we look at. If you don't know when to call it quits, that's your problem. With Muhammad Ali, after he beat Leon Spinks and got the title back and became a 3-time world champion, that should have been it. From what I understand, Muhammad Ali needed money. And what else did he know how to do? You understand what I'm saying? So, I mean, he made his movie The Greatest. He was funny. Maybe he could have went into stand-up comedy. Maybe he could have, went into poetry or whatever. I'm just saying. But what was he going to do that was going to get him the kind of money that he would make fighting? Right? Well, he fought a couple of fights too many. Larry Holmes, Trevor Burbick. This was a money grab because he was in need. Okay. Muhammad Ali failed his test, his physical, before he fought against Larry Holmes. I don't have any information on his physical against Trevor Burbick. But this greedy, fucking rich-ass sport could have did some type of fundraisers to help Muhammad Ali. They could have done some things to help him to stay afloat, man, whatever. But at the end of the day, however, everybody doesn't have the same fortune. We saw Mike Tyson when he lost to McBride and lost to the other dude, and he said, "I don't have a heart for this anymore." I'm going to retire. I'm going to disgrace the sport no more. No disrespect, but losing to a guy this caliber. So at 38, Floyd fought Andre Berto to close the show. Who the fuck was McBride? And I remember seeing the black dude when he fought against Klitschko when he was a lot younger. And pretty much this dude never made a name for himself. He was never nothing but a contender. He destroyed Mike Tyson. Okay. That's why you guys don't like to do careers. You like to go with this prime shit. It's a shortcut, like I said. It's just a shortcut. You are those motherfuckers that sit in class, copy people's notes, memorize answers. Then the teachers say, what's the answer to number 3? And you sit there, 516,000. Good answer. Now, come to the board and show me how you got that answer. You get up there and feel real stupid now because you're cheaters. You didn't do the arithmetic. You copied. You understand what I'm saying? And that's what you try to do with the career shit, with the whole, prime for prime. I know. It's weird when a person never fell off and everybody else did. That's why nobody talks about Andre Ward, even though he's undefeated, because his career, the funny thing about it, man, is like, if you understand what the Super 6 tournament was, he was a part of something that's not annually. They don't do this every year, but he was a part of it. He won. So different fighters may do things, certain things may happen during a certain period of time. But Andre Ward was a solid dude in the ring. Roy Jones stayed the fuck away from him. He stayed away from Chad Dawson. Yeah. In fact, I got the thumbnail and everything ready. The only reason I don't think I'm not going to do the videos because I have clips, audio. Okay, this video, I have to block him out as audio. Yeah, we be doing work over here, man. But I don't want this shit to be copyrighted. Because then if I do all that for nothing, it's like, okay. You understand what I mean? It's just a waste of time. And basically, the video is going to be about what happened during that fight when they fought. And pretty much, I could sit here and just sum it up for you right now, since I'm not going to do that video. Y'all could comment on this if you want in the comment section as well. I was going to comment on the fact that Emmanuel Stewart said both of them should retire. Okay? Because this was, my bad, Bernard Hopkins and Winky Wright. I was going to do a video on that. Winky Wright was 35 years old. Bernard Hopkins was 42. He said they should retire. They both looking old and slow. And he said, Max Kellerman says that aside from money, from payday, what's the point? This is what he said. Now, you see how they was talking about the best fighting the best stuff, right? But 35. Winky was 35. Now, Bernard was 42. He says, because I'm thinking about Chad Dawson. And the man still goes, that's what I'm talking, that's what I'm thinking, right? But here's the deal, if you remember. They were fighting at 175 pounds. Okay? Here's my thing about it, though. Even for Bernard to be 42, Winky was 35. Why is it Floyd was never old at no age in the ring? Even though he retired at 38, came back and did it again at 40. Okay? Why was he never too old? Why was he never too young? Like when he beat Gennaro Hernandez. How old was Floyd? 21? You understand what I'm saying? It was Canelo, his bitch ass was 23. Somehow he was a baby. He was too young. And this motherfucker had 42 fucking fights and Floyd had 44. Floyd, I don't even remember how many fights he had when he fought Hernandez, but he was up and coming. Okay? And then but bottom line, and that's what they said. Now, Chad Dawson was an underachiever. Chad Dawson was supposed to wipe the floor with Andre Ward. He was supposed to destroy him. And all the experts, the so-called experts, picked Chad Dawson. If you remember, Chad Dawson had a contract with HBO, and Andre Ward had a contract with Showtime. And pretty much it was one of these things where if you were a Showtime fighter, people just for some stupid reason thought you wasn't good enough to be the HBO fighter. Okay. I didn't see the things in Chad Dawson that they did. And I picked Andre Ward to destroy this dude. And I said, man, the only thing, he has size over him. But Chad Dawson, if you watch him, he's a boxer, man. He freezes up. He pauses in the ring too much. He falls apart. He loses focus. That's what he does, man. So what ends up happening is this. Roy Jones had multiple losses at this point. He's not the same dude, right? Now, if you remember, at Cruiserweight, he was supposed to fight Marco Huck. And I said, man, Marco Huck going to knock Roy the fuck out. Like, that shit that's going to be brutal. Marco Huck lost to Alexander Usyk. But Roy Jones, not before Roy Jones lost to, I forget the guy's name. This is supposed to be a step up. If Roy wins this fight, then he fights Marco Huck for the Cruiserweight title. So Roy failed at these attempts. Now, y'all brag about how old Archie Moore was, still winning titles. Y'all brag about how old George Foreman was, still able to win a title. Y'all brag about how old Bernard Hopkins was, still able to win a title. Nito Donaire came back when nobody thought he could do it and won a title at 38. Okay? Floyd at 38 was still ranked pound for pound the best fighter in the world. Roy never did that. And none of the other fighters never did it. But bottom line, all those other guys get praised for how long they were, their longevity. But yet, Roy Jones failed at his attempt to become cruiserweight champion. My whole body broke down after, I lost 25 pounds of muscle. Man, you make it sound like that 25 pounds of muscle was crippling or something. If that's the case, then he should have had the common sense to stop fighting. Simple. You fight over a decade past your prime, but you using 25 pounds of muscle, losing weight. That was the end of your... No, that doesn't diminish your skill set, man. Fatigue, being able to not absorb shots, and that happened for the rest of your career because of you losing 25 pounds of muscle. Like I said, I attributed that to the first fight, not the second fight, and so on. That's his excuse for the rest of his career. So let's just think. The rest of his career was crippled because he lost 25 pounds of muscle to come out and fight. Well, then you're not that durable then. Okay, so here's the deal. Anthony Joshua also said he gave Muhammad Ali credit for being great, but he don't think Muhammad Ali was unbeatable. There's other heavyweights he think would have beat Ali. Does Roy Jones want to fight Anthony Joshua? Hell, George Foreman went on record and said Lennox Lewis is the greatest heavyweight of all times. George Foreman went on record and said Floyd Mayweather is more skilled than me and Muhammad Ali. Layla Ali said, okay, technically, yes, Floyd Mayweather is more skilled than my father. Roy Jones was being interviewed one time, and they was asking him, comparing him to Manny Pacquiao and Floyd. And the interview was basically like the same way how Shannon Sharp was asking him about beating Mike Tyson. Was like, you think that you're better skill for skill than Manny Pacquiao and Floyd? They might be on the same level. As far as, put it like this, how I put it all together? He was trying to explain that. So Floyd, what people don't understand, guys might forget, Roy Jones got hounded his whole career for fighting guys that wasn't the best dudes. And I have to say again, Jim Lampley, in one of his fights, said Roy Jones is one of the smartest guys he's ever met that he knows. Look at the amount of money he's made without having to take the risks. We know what that fucking means. And like they said, they've accepted that Roy Jones is the type of guy that, hey man, he just comes to put on the show. So even if he's fighting lesser opponents, they're coming to see Roy. So it becomes the Roy Jones show. What is that telling you? And once again, I think Roy Jones would have beat Nigel Benn and all of those dudes. We don't know that. Okay, so I can't say, well, he would have won, so no, we don't know that. The same way how he said, Sugar got heart. We think Floyd got it, but we don't know. Floyd fought when he fucked his hand up. Always forget this motherfucker's name. I always forget his fucking name. But he fought that whole fight with his hand fucked up. And you saying you never seen him fight had this shit. First of all, here's the deal. When you're so great that you make other great fighters and other good fighters and really good fighters just look to not be on your level, like you making that stupid ass excuse about Manny Pacquiao. You waited for Manny Pacquiao to get old. Motherfucker, he's older than Pacquiao. Somebody brought that to said that to Roy, and Roy goes, that don't mean nothing, man. Nah, you are bitter. It does mean something. And in fact, like I said before, it's funny how y'all try to keep Roy's reputation safe because y'all want to forget that he fought a heavyweight. Y'all never compare him to heavyweights. Yeah, y'all was the same ones requesting, yo, man, they should put Roy Jones as heavyweight on the game. Yeah, you can use him. Yeah, but it should say heavyweight. Like, yeah, all right, grow up a little bit. But yeah, because he was heavyweight. Yeah, exactly. Jaems Toney's his size. Anthony Joshua's his size. Why he don't want to fight them? Why he didn't get mad? And first of all, here's the deal. If Layla Ali saw Floyd, she'd embrace him. That's her father. You wasn't nearly as close to Ali as Layla was. Stop pretending. This ain't about Ali. This is about you. So it's like all you and them other fucking broken down fighters want to try to form a hate union. Let's get together and try to talk shit about Floyd. Shane with his bullshit comeback. Nobody gives a fuck about no Shane Mosley comeback fight. What you accomplished is what you accomplished, and you got your ass whooped. Remember how he sat there? I'm not too old for the fight game. I'm not, right, but that's the excuse he resorted to. I got the receipts on my phone still right now of him making excuses as to why he lost to Pacquiao and as to why he lost to Floyd. Funny thing is this though, right? When a man can tell you he has a fight coming up, but he's out here playing basketball. Okay, it's the shit Roy Jones used to do. You know, play up a game of basketball, try to, you know, because he was fighting competition that allowed him to do that. But same thing, I guess he was trying to imitate Michael Jordan, because Mike would go out and play, you know, 2 games of golf or whatever, however, and then come back and then cook motherfuckers on the court. But at the same time, right, Shane Mosley's excuse was he goes out and play basketball and fucked up his Achilles tendon. He said he had a groin injury from some fucking snowboarding or some shit that he was doing. Okay. He said, and this is what he said when Shane was being interviewed. If I can find that motherfucker, trust me, I'm gonna post that one too. He had like a white shirt on and some blue jeans, some fucking brown cowboy boots, and his blonde chick, I think she was blonde, was interviewing him, and I know he ended up telling her he had a groin injury when he fought Floyd and when he fought Shane. Check this out. He ended up saying he had an Achilles tendon tear, had to get an operation a couple of months before he fought Pacquiao. He said he had a groin injury before he fought Floyd. So you are a grown man and too fucking stupid to protect yourself outside the ring and not do dumb shit like that. Whose problem is that? Okay, remember when he fought Pacquiao? And remember when his father got in the ring and was telling him, Shane, man, you gotta let your hands go. Look at Jack Mosley's face. He ain't trying to hit him excuses. He was so disappointed. What did you hear Shane say? I got a blister under my foot. I can't move. I can't move. So goddamn, Shane, every fucking time you talk to somebody, you add another injury to the list. Real quick, let me just add, with Winky Wright and Bernard Hopkins, what I found funny, like I said, he was 35, but at 35, you got Emmanuel Stewart saying he should retire. You know, I was going to break down Winky Wright style and all that shit, but whatever. But like I said, Hopkins was 42. Here's the funny thing, though. Like I said, at 36, Floyd was beating the shit out of Canelo. But it's always an excuse. B-Hop is 4 years older than Roy. So we can sit here and say, well, you waited for Bernard Hopkins to get even older, because when you were sitting there, I'm really too big for Bernard, I'm trying to be nice and all that. Y'all could have fought then, but you didn't want to fight him. See how Roy Jones said it's not about the money. He cared about the belts and just the, basically the thrill of competition, right? It ain't about the money. But he sat there and said, he fighting me 60-40 or he ain't fighting me, right? Why I got the split 50-50 with him? I beat him. And I agree with that. But the part about you don't do it for the money is bullshit. And see, that right there was very similar in terms of where you was and where Bernard Hopkins was somewhat with Floyd and Pacquiao, in the sense that Hopkins was hot at the time. He had people, he was winning fights, he was winning, but he got his criticism too. So right there, y'all could have had your rematch. Hopkins didn't want to take the 60-40. He wanted 50-50. Same bullshit Pacquiao was trying to pull. But he had 3 losses. So he got better since then. And that was but Floyd should fight him. Why didn't you fight Bernard Hopkins? Why did you wait until he was 44? Called him an old man, went in there and brought some Viagra up, wanted to stay all that dumb shit and all. Okay, whatever. But you got beat. Got your ass whooped. And nobody cares about that fight. You had a failed attempt to fight, what's the dude, Anderson Silva. Nobody cared about that. And if you would have fought, it wouldn't compare to the build-up. Nothing wouldn't have been the same as Floyd Mayweather versus Conor McGregor. And you know that. So the fact is, every time, all Roy Jones is a desperate old broken down fighter with bad knees and can barely even fucking walk. And Roy Jones is just trying to get a payday. Trying to keep himself relevant, hoping to get there. That's why he doing all these interviews. And every interview, he know they're going to bring up him and Floyd. People, just in general, are going around in different gyms asking about him and Floyd. Do you know how much of a bitch you look like to be a 200-something pound man, right? Out of everybody who says something about Ali, you got a problem with the 147-pounder. He's telling Floyd, and here's the funny thing, he talk about he can get down to 190 and that shit if he want to fight. First of all, you the only one came up with this make-believe fucking fight. Floyd is not even fucking worried about you. This is why Floyd did the video when he was on his yacht, had people with him and he chilling. Right, because remember, Floyd is broke. Floyd lost $400 million. Floyd is in debt. Floyd, right? He's out here chilling. And he ain't say nothing about nobody. He's just chilling. Because you know what that's signifying? Look at the life I'm living, man, and what I'm still doing outside of boxing to keep this type of lifestyle going. I'm out here living my life. Y'all motherfucking broken down, old, washed up fighters are sitting back talking about me. You understand? Talking about me. Floyd don't need to talk about them. For what? What does Roy Jones or any one of them have that Floyd needs? Nothing. And y'all, I guess y'all got that loser's mentality in life because y'all don't see through this shit. So if you got mother, father, son, daughter, whoever, everybody, y'all sitting at the table, who's the grown-ups in the house? Who? Because in this generation, the kids be telling the parents what the fuck to do. Like, where's the maturity at? Floyd ain't thinking about no damn Roy Jones. And he only responded because Roy keep fucking saying his name. In fact, you never see Floyd Mayweather bringing up people's names. You know what y'all see? Sometimes videos are edited to where the conversation starts to where the fighter is responding to something. But so because it starts that way, you think, oh, he just break. No, it's always somebody bringing up somebody's name and saying they said this or trying to make a comparison. So when that happens, right? These interviewers are trying to make a point that they know is going to get a reaction. What did Floyd do? He sat there in his house chilling. Got somewhere on some chicken farm and shit, raising roosters and sitting in dirt and shit. He's sitting there, just sitting there watching Roy get knocked the fuck out. That's all he did. If you want to get mad at somebody, Roy, get mad at them motherfucker. Get mad at yourself for getting knocked the fuck out, or get mad at them dudes for knocking you out. Because if that didn't happen, none of us could watch it. One punch knockouts. Pop! You just fold like Apollo Creed. What did Floyd say? He didn't say shit. Roy done talked about if he watched the video, that's gonna make him want to go to. He gonna wind up going to Floyd's house. Oh, I mean, so you're an old street nigga, huh? Same nigga sit up talking about God, this, and you know what I'm saying? Gotta put God first. God is, and God. Yeah, all you Negroes running around here with your version of God and your so-called personal relationship with God and talking about, bragging about liking to start shit, right? That's what you said in your song, right? Niggas talk, they about talking shit. I'm about starting shit, right? 60-year-old fucking man starting shit, right? So all of this bullshit, Floyd ain't said shit still. Floyd ain't even respond to him. Y'all so fucking stupid that y'all got people putting fake beef up. Floyd accepts. Because they know how gullible you motherfuckers are. Floyd ain't accept shit. There's no words. Just like y'all, Clarissa Shields, Layla Ali responds. Layla ain't respond to shit. Now, I didn't watch this video. I don't know what was said. I saw a thumbnail that says Layla Ali watched Clarissa Shields fighting and referenced this whole Tom and Jerry shit. See how y'all some puppets? Y'all need to get Turkey out of Sheik's dick out y'all mouth, because that's exactly what none of y'all motherfuckers use that term. Now he uses it. Now all of a sudden everybody want to reference it. Okay, well, here's the thing. First of all, Lonnie Daniels clearly didn't come to fight. She didn't come to win. She came in that motherfucker for the paycheck. She ran the whole fucking fight. Like the last couple of rounds, Shields was trying to bait her. Let me stop chasing her. Let me come and lean on the ropes. Maybe she think I'm tired. She's trying to make her commit so she can fight. And Lonnie Daniels can't punch. She's not a puncher. She got a little hand speed, and the way she fights, how she leans, she was able to, like, when Shields was trying to catch her with the haymakers and trying to trap her, basically some of that was, she was trying to hit her, but she was also letting her know, like, yeah, if that would have landed, like, yeah, when somebody's moving a lot and you try to trap them, you bang to the body, and especially when you got quick punches like Shields, bang to the body, go up right through the middle, whatever, bang them both sides to the whatever, because that's how you get to trap them. And of course, you're going to try to either grab, and in her case, yeah, because she wasn't really fighting much. Okay, but at the same time, the way she moved, even on the ropes, when she would turn, she's turning her body in a way where even if Shields goes to the body, she's turning where she's here, and she has her arm down, and she's going to, like, continue to just, because it's not like she was boxing and moving. She was just running. That's all she was doing. So if Layla has something to say, this is part of what I'm saying. Layla need to shut the fuck up. Why are you worrying about what Lonnie Daniels did? So this is a coward's way of, and I didn't see it, so I don't know what she said, but if she's talking shit, this is a coward's way of saying, I knocked this girl out. Do you see this? I'm not even going to waste my time. Nah, you ain't going to walk away for no fucking $15 million. And I guarantee you there's nothing else she got going on in her life that she's getting $15 million from. So, do I want to see the fight? Nope. Do I have interest in the fight between Layla and Carissa? Nope. All I'm saying is she need to shut the fuck up because you had an offer and you completely didn't respond at all. But you're going to respond about, see, this is what I'm saying. So she's trying to take shots, and I know it was Aki TV. Yeah, that's what it was. And I haven't watched Aki in a long time. I don't really watch any of these motherfuckers, but if you do know anything about Aki, when he does do a video, he definitely does a breakdown, whether you agree with him or not, based on because it's always with him, it depends on the fighter you like or don't like, because I read comments sometimes, I'm like, he's right though. Then it sounds he says shit and I'm like, all right, he's tripping. So you understand what I'm saying? It doesn't matter. I'm just saying, if she said something, I don't give a fuck what Aki said. I'm saying, what if she said something negative, and according to his thumbnail, she did, whether it was a tweet or whether it was words. Don't worry about Lonnie Daniels. Either you gonna get in the ring or you not. And to show you the hypocrisy, y'all talk about, yeah, but she's 47, man. It don't matter if you retired or if you still boxing. 47 is 47. Right. But at the same time, Floyd is 48. But y'all don't mind seeing him and Roy. Roy is 58. Yeah. See, this is what I'm saying. Yeah, but Floyd, no, stop. 47 is 47, right? Okay. This is what I'm saying. So, yeah. And am I interested to see Floyd versus Roy? Nope. It's a stupid fucking fight to me. But if it did happen, Roy need that ass embarrassed. You just fought a 147-pound dude. He talk about you can get down to 190. Well, that's because you're fat. Because if you train hard enough, why can't you get down to 175 right? No, he want to try to have an advantage. Well, the age and the weight kind of balance. Shut the fuck up. Y'all always repeating some stupid shit. I don't give a fuck to see that shit. I really don't. All Roy Jones is doing is making a desperate attempt to try to use clout. Talking about he probably this is probably what he wanted, a reaction. And he knew, okay, once he reacted, I'm gonna start talking my shit to try to keep myself relevant. Roy Jones did all that talking. Like I said, Floyd still ain't said a fucking word. All he did was sat there and watch you get knocked the fuck out, and he proved his point. So when you sit there talking about some 190 pounds, I can get down and want to take it or leave it, Floyd not even responding to you. And if you notice, when you hear Roy Jones talk, do you hear him talking about any back and forth? No, nothing. This is you talking shit, sounding fucking stupid. He's looking bad out here, man. The real ones know it, and they saying the same thing like, Roy, why are you so obsessed with Floyd, man? So, you know, you dumb motherfuckers think it's us. We're content creators. Stupid. We give the news. Roy just walked around talking about a 147-pound dude talking shit. And it's like, yo, this dude is out here chilling. He don't need no fucking Roy Jones. And if you damn near 60 years old still trying to fight, yeah, you're not financially in the spot that you in. So all that, as to anybody, I'm always ready, always wide open. Right. That's the same exact face. If you don't remember, when he talking about, it's anybody, I'm always wide open, I'm always ready. That's the same face he made the night he got knocked out by Glenn Johnson. Remember that shit, right? The interview was shit. He talking about, by the way, that ain't happening no more. Same stupid ass face, and then Glenn Johnson knocked him the fuck out. So stretching your eyes and trying to talk with so much conviction don't mean jack shit. You're a shot, washed up fighter with bad knees. Everybody can see that shit. Everything you throw is from a stationary position. Your legs are gone. The only fucking confidence you have over Floyd is because he's so much smaller. You know that shit. Other than that, and now Floyd is more stationary. You understand what I'm saying? Than he ever was. But I think Floyd would kick your ass, Roy. Well, that's what I want to see. No, nobody want to see that shit. Y'all, what y'all gonna call it, the old bowl? Nobody want to see that shit. Other than idiots that ain't got nothing better to do at that time. I don't want to see that shit. I'm not even concerned with it. And this is what I'm laughing at. You so much older than Floyd, but he got more. He's more mature than you are, by far. You want to all of a sudden wait till you this old to act like an ignorant nigga. If I watch the video, I'm going to go to his house. Yeah, right. Yeah. Imagine Roy on the news getting locked up for trying to be a thug at 60 years old. Well, I say this. The fact that we live in an era where people so sensitive, getting their feelings so quick, this is why people get their heads fucking, blown off. This is why people, they think like they just, nobody give a fuck who you are, man. You remember what happened to Vernon Forrest? And I don't even know what that was over. Whatever, just had some, but nobody cares about all that. Because once you're gone, you're gone. And all that, I die for what I believe in and what I still. Why you should have died in that gym trying to get back to where you was. That's what you should have did. And all them bums you fought after that, Prince what's his name, Prince Abadi, Jamu, or whatever, all them motherfuckers, and you had to work your way to get back to Trinidad, who was retired and was, all that shit, and Jeff Late, all these washed up motherfuckers, as soon as you got in there with a motherfucker that still could contend, and Joe Kawasaki was 36, you was 40. Same age Floyd was when he was in there beating the shit out of Canelo. And this is where you motherfuckers see, here's the thing, we can look at Andre Ward's whole career, right? Andre Ward fans, fuck the fans. Andre Ward don't have to feel bad about nothing. You can look at Joe Kawasaki's whole career. He don't have to feel bad about nothing. In fact, even fighters with losses don't have to feel bad about nothing. Even though, there's things that happen in people's careers, and of course, if they lost, they would have. If they could do anything different, they would have. Yeah. But what I'm saying is, and you can look at Floyd's career. I have to feel bad about nothing. You don't have to say in his prime. You understand what I'm saying? Your career, Roy Jones said, they asked if you could change anything, what would you change? He said nothing, because when God got a plan. People start with God plan. I know all this God shit. It's funny how God is everything to y'all, but when you can't control your little punk ass temper, all of a sudden now God got nothing to do with it. Now you a street nigga. Yeah, okay. So here's this. Jaems Toney expressed his opinion. You want to fight him? Anthony Joshua expressed his opinion. You want to fight him? Layla Ali admitted Floyd Mayweather is more skilled than her father. Okay? Now, that's not saying she says that Floyd can beat her father, but she's saying he's more skilled than her father. You want to fight Layla? You might get a majority decision. You might get a split decision win over Layla, maybe. She might get one over you too. Anthony Joshua gave his assessment. You want to fight Anthony Joshua? Yeah. Anyways, I'm tired of talking about this motherfucker in this video. Because, like, this is that type of shit, man. Where if you like this nigga, if you was his fucking nephew or something, you like, yo, Roy, what the fuck are you doing, man? You his brother or some shit or whatever. What the fuck is wrong with you, man? You worry about this little motherfucker because he showed you get knocked the fuck out. Well, you did get knocked out. Yeah, Ali did lose the motherfucker that only had 7 losses. And all these excuses that people make. Man, listen here, man. And for the record, no, I don't see Leon Spinks the way other people did. In fact, when I seen him get cooked by Jerry Cooney and all the other motherfuckers that knocked his ass out, you know, basically what I saw is this. We know Ali wasn't the same fighter. And that's what fuck with people. Because, once again, you can go through Floyd's whole career. He's undefeated. And he just basically made everybody look bad, pretty much. Beat the very best fighters the same way as everybody else. So it didn't matter who you put in front of him, he's going to win. Well, Roy Jones said the same thing. Only thing is he got 10 losses. So, and when Jaems Toney said that shit, but Roy fought everybody. Who, nigga? Who? Who the fuck did he fight? Other than you. Roy, you know why James is saying that shit? Because he got his ass whooped. Other than you and Bernard Hopkins. That is it. He fought a 39-year-old Mike McCallum. Why didn't he fight Mike McCallum back then? James Toney fought Mike McCallum when he was younger. You understand what I'm saying? So why didn't he fight Mike McCallum back then? Why didn't he fight Gerald McClellan? Oh, I get it. Him and McClellan were friends. Him and McCallum were friends. Yeah, come on with this bullshit, man. Why didn't he fight Chris Bird at heavyweight? Oh, they're friends. Oh, he's not friends with Lennox. He wasn't friends with Lennox Lewis. He fights bum-ass John Ruiz. Who the fuck you talking about? He fought everybody. Who the fuck is everybody? Murky Sosa? Huh? Huh? Glenn Wolf? Huh? I'm just saying, man. Roy Jones was a bad motherfucker. Roy Jones, like I said, dudes he didn't fight, I think he could have beat them. We don't know that. That's not what we do. And that's what, once again, when this motherfucker keep opening his mouth saying the shit he's saying, he's making himself look really bad. Really, really bad. And once again, Jaems Toney said Ali was trash. Floyd never said that. He never said that. AJ never said that either. But he definitely said that there's guys he think that would have beat Ali. He think Ali was too small. Roy Jones one time said he think Ray Robinson would have been too small for him. I think he would have been a little too small. That's all. No. Yeah, people got wind of that video and they roasted Roy Jones. Man, you crazy. Ray Robinson would have fucked you up. Ray would have, this is all here on YouTube. But what I find funny about all of this shit, though, is when the hypocrisy is right in front of you and people fail to see it. In this generation, even the fucking so-called OGs do sissy shit, bitch-made shit, and don't have any fucking, they're no more mature than their fucking sons and daughters. You still trying to be a 16-year-old, man. The fuck out of here, man. At the end of the day, this shit is weird. I like, honestly, I don't know how y'all feel, but when I look at what I'm talking about and what's going on in boxing, sometimes, man, many times I just find myself like, this shit is like, it's not for real. Like, this is where we have come with boxing, man. Yeah, this is exactly where we've come. And you know what, man? Let me say this too. For all y'all that keep saying, how come Floyd didn't fight Winky Wright? I know y'all don't know shit. And that's why y'all say that. I'm going to explain why he didn't fight Winky Wright. Winky Wright never fought at 147 fucking pounds. He was fighting at 154. No, man, because Shane fought him. Yeah, ass wipe, because Shane went to 154 and got his ass whooped twice and decided 147 was better for him and he came back down. When Floyd went up at 154, he fought Oscar De La Hoya. He beat him. And the closest he came to that was fighting Canelo at 152-pound catchweight. And like Canelo said, the weight didn't bother him at all. Floyd was just a better fighter. And then years later, that one loss that he had for so long before he finally got his ass kicked again, he just haunted him so bad. Now, to show you how much of a pussy Canelo has become, he ain't talking about a rematch with Bivol, who whooped his ass, right? Yeah, he ain't talking about a rematch with Bivol. This motherfucker keep talking about when they ask him, who do you want to fight? Like, right now, who? Floyd Mayweather. More than any other fighter, he want to fight Floyd. Do you understand what I'm saying? Floyd could be 95 years old. Somebody's still going to want to fight Floyd Mayweather. That's just, you don't want to fight Bivol. So when the motherfucker say, yeah, but Bivol took, nah, shut the fuck up. Shut the fuck up. And that's his only confident means of confidence is he's bigger and Floyd is a lot older. You see what I'm saying? So why is it's okay for Floyd to fight Roy Jones at his weight, or even if he can come down to 190 like he's saying, is a fucking excuse. But it's not okay for a much younger Canelo Alvarez to go back to 175, which he competed at twice already. Yeah, and he don't even, here's the thing, fuck that. He don't even want to fight Bivol at 168. Scary ass. And we know why. So yeah, man, he never was at 154, just that one fight. What the fuck do we got to go up and fight Winky Wright for? What the fuck did Winky Wright have? Nothing. When Winky Wright got beat by Julio Cesar Vasquez, he was 23 years old. Okay? Julio Cesar Vasquez, not Chavez, because you already got some idiot in the comment, no, man, it's Chavez, not Vasquez. No, Vasquez, bitch. He was 32. He beat Winky Wright. Okay? Winky Wright has always been at 154. Then he moved up. So him and Floyd wasn't even there. And then there's people that was at 147 when Floyd wasn't even there yet. And y'all be like, he ain't no fight this day. Motherfucker, when Floyd got there, that motherfucker was no longer there. The dude wasn't worth a shit. And that's why when I say, every time you ask yourself or ask somebody, how come Floyd didn't fight a guy that was at 147 when he was there? And Pacquiao was there too. Ask yourself the same question about Pacquiao. Why didn't he fight the motherfuckers either? And not one of you motherfuckers said, how come Pacquiao didn't fight Winky Wright? No, this is always Floyd. Ain't nobody bringing up Pacquiao. In fact, this is what's going to happen to Pacquiao. I don't know if Mario Barrios and him is going to have another bum-ass rematch, and I really don't give a fuck. And like I said, Pacquiao showed more heart than a young man in this fight, but I never thought much about Mario Barrios. When I look at his size, his length and all, and the fact that he got his ass kicked by little Gervonta Tank Davis, then got beat by Keith Thurman, and it shows you, and Keith Thurman hadn't fought in how long? And Keith Thurman's not even the same fighter. And my thing is, for Pacquiao, if y'all can sit here and talk all this shit about Floyd Mayweather coming back, right? And the fact that Pacquiao came back, you can't make no excuses about him trying to duck the top challengers, because he ain't want to come back when Boots was there. He ain't want to come there when he ain't want to fight Virgil Ortiz. He don't want to fight those dudes. He picked the weakest dude because it's about the accomplishment. He said like he's back to stay. Okay, so here's the deal. Would somebody knock him the fuck out cold? It don't matter about your complaints. It don't matter about nothing y'all saying. When y'all start talking this bullshit about, oh man, boy, he was X amount of, then stop fucking bragging about Archie Moore. Stop bragging about Bernard Hopkins and George Foreman. Because you want to glaze certain people to try to put them over others, but then when it comes to the motherfucker that you like now, but he was old. It's just like when people tell, oh, yo, man, you got to remember, Sugar Ray and them, they fought 15 rounds. Right. He came from that 15-round era. He still got his ass whooped by Terry Norris. And this was a 12-round fight. In fact, look how tired Ray was when he fought Hagler. I still think he won that fight against Hagler. But bottom line, look how tired he was. You understand what I'm saying? So, and Norris, that motherfucker never got tired. Everybody say, well, I'm going to tell you, Terry Norris, Salvador Sanchez, them motherfuckers are probably the most conditioned motherfuckers I ever seen. Where, and I'm going to tell you the difference. Roy didn't throw a lot of punches. When he did throw, he threw combinations and flurries He let his hands go 5, 6, 7 punch combinations, but he didn't throw a lot of punches. But when he did, they came in that succession of like, just rapid fire. Terry Norris threw a lot of punches. Salvador Sanchez, a lot of punches. And you see when Roy shoot his shot, then you see him kind of take his break, moving. I'm saying, bottom line, conditioning wise, that's why I tell people, man, stop letting people tell you what somebody was. Just like they call Michael Jackson the king of pop, like he didn't have some dope banging ass R&B songs. That's what I'm saying. Run DMC's the kings of rock. Okay, but they didn't have, straight hip hop shit without the guitars and all that. Of course they did. But you go by some title and you think that, this person, you put limitations on people. But if you sit down and listen, you'll go, damn, these motherfuckers have some banging ass shit. Okay, I thought they just made rock shit. Oh, I thought, Michael Jackson only did pop shit because I didn't, yeah. Because y'all listen to people say shit and you don't listen for yourself. Mike got some of the most banging R&B shit out ever, period. And you listen and go, damn. I had motherfuckers a couple days ago do that shit. Listen, it's like, yo, Mike was a bad motherfucker. Like, nah, you know what's crazy? I know about all the shit that was on the radio and all whatever, but I'm listening to this, like, yo, it's shit that I don't remember hearing before. Like, yo, this motherfucker is nice. Mike, yeah, well, just saying. Right, whatever. And that's what y'all do. Y'all let people tell y'all what something is or what they ain't and whatever. I don't need nobody to tell me shit about none of that. I got a brain in my fucking head. I'm not dumb. I'm not an airhead. So you can't sit here and feed me bullshit and I'm going to go with it just because. Okay. That all being said, right? The reason, too, that I was going to do the Winky Wright and Bernard Hopkins video, the basis of that was this. I wanted y'all to hear the clips of what was being said. And then I was going to break down that a lot of people who speak about that fight, yeah, that was a banger. Yeah, no, it wasn't. That was one of the most boring fights I ever saw, man. It was punch hold. Both fighters punch hold, 1-2 hold, 1 hold, 1-2. That whole fight. 9th round is when Bernard got a warning for constantly holding. They both was, they both were holding. It was an ugly fight. They both were smothering their punches. And you know how Winky Wright fights. He got that. What Winky Wright does, he stands up straight like a tall guy, but he bends at the torso. Not his legs. He bends at the torso, keeps his arms here, and he works everything off his jab. He steps with his jab. So when he catches shots, it's not a hook, uppercuts coming. It's like everything with the jab. He steps with it. He works off the jab. The thing with Winky is he wasn't that fast. Wasn't slow, but he wasn't that fast. He was flat-footed. And basically, movement bothers Winky. For him to be able to get off if you crafty with your shit. Because the way he punched, if you could slip and move, you counter around. Like, Bernard basically was on the back foot, and he's the naturally bigger guy. And Winky didn't have no big punching power. Bernard, he didn't have big power either, but Bernard, he had enough to, he had enough to make people, basically he moved a lot too. He had enough power to make people respect him. Until he fought like Chad Dawson, you could see his punches had nothing on him at that point. But what I'm saying is, like, me watching that fight, I remember watching that fight. It's funny how years later, and this is one thing about history that y'all gotta understand. Years later, people are talking about that fight like, yo, they won that. No, they didn't. The fuck are you talking about? They did not go at it. That was a boring ass fight. Last couple of rounds, Bernard started opening up more, and they started to fight a little bit more like the last 2-3 rounds, maybe. The whole, up into the 9th round, man, it was still, they still held and shit and all that, but it was not an action-packed fight. Okay, Bernard, even in the fight where they mentioned how Bernard, his style isn't pretty, but he wins ugly style fights, but he gets the win. Winky Wright, his defense was a weapon, because he walked off of his defense. So he would catch your shots. And that's one thing that I liked about Winky, though, is because, why a lot of guys get knocked out? Because they reach try to block shots. They don't know how to parry shots. They reach out too far. And sometimes motherfucker throw something, whatever. They'll throw something faint. And you keep doing the same shit. They throw something faint. Next thing you know, they come over with that damn overhead and you sitting there like this, wide open. Bam! And you out of here. Like Herbie Hyde was a guy. I used to watch him. Herbie Hyde tried to knock you out. He wasn't trying to win a decision. The problem that Herbie Hyde had on defense, and this is why I don't give a fuck what you say. If you think Floyd was boring, if you think Pernell Whitaker, you can't think Floyd was boring and not think Pernell was boring, because Pernell was a defensive guy too. He stayed up mostly backed up, played around a lot and all that. Winky Wright, these defensive fighters, although Floyd and Pernell were more effective all around than Winky was, because Winky couldn't, like I said, he couldn't handle movement. He had no footwork. He just basically came forward, just walking in, and he wasn't a big puncher, so it's not like you really had to worry about what was coming at you. It was just trying to penetrate his defense, But Winky Wright is the guy, he want to take you into deep waters. But if your mind is right, you're going to take him into deep waters. You have to try to crack the shell. At some point, he's going to have to open up and commit to something, right? And that's when he's going to start running into shit. And basically, Winky Wright, when he moved up, he's carrying more weight too. So that probably was, tiring him as well. But Bernard didn't fight him like I'm the bigger, stronger guy. Bernard was the one on the back foot. But if you watch, like, for example, let me get back to Herbie Hyde. Herbie Hyde, what I didn't like about Herbie Hyde style, when he would throw that sweeping hook, right or left hand, he's trying to knock you out. But he would do it sometimes without throwing the jab. And then when, the opponent throws back, he'd lean, and his hands is always here, man. And always, when I see fighters like this, he get by the ropes, and he's moving, and he's just leaning with his hands open, and he turns his head, and he gets clipped. When I seen Klitschko beat his ass, Vitaly, I seen Riddick Bowe, when you see, like, when he win a fight, Herbie can handle guys with no footwork. But guys that can just move and close the distance, even if it's just them walking in, at some point he's going to get caught. And all that extra moving, he's going to get more tired than his opponent because he's doing all this moving. He didn't have good fundamental skills, Herbie Hyde. He was a guy that came to fight. He was like 202, they had him at 224 or something like that. And he's 215 pounds. That's him at 215 pounds. And but he could punch, But I remember when people would talk about him, like, yo, Herbie Hyde is this and that. But I'm like, yo, he has no defense, man. And he's another one. This is what I'm saying. When you move, this is why I said, when you have a style, and this is what I say for any fighter. This is why I said, Prime Ali beats anybody. But if we're going to compare whole careers, at some point, no. It's not like his whole career, he'd just beat anybody. What version of Ali are we talking about? Because even like Ali, Frazier, Thriller, Manila, right? Both of them had slowed down. And this is why I was so competitive, because now Ali can't move like he used to, but Ali had that determination. Ali wasn't scared. See, Ali could fight, and he would stand there and bang with you. So that's what I'm saying. You can't. That's where the separation from him and Roy Jones, and like Ali had that dog in him. Like, there wasn't nobody knocking Ali the fuck out. Never. So, but what I'm saying is, the style that Ali adapted with the rope-a-dope shit, and just keeping his hands high and standing with the wide-legged stance in here, right? It worked for him as long as it could. But we also got to consider the fact with Ali, when that brain damage started to show, because Ali's speech started to sound slurred too, even like around the time he fought Spinks. And so I think the damage was already done. So even though we say it should have been his last fight, because but the damage was already done. But when Ali got to the point, like the Holmes fight should never happen. He was just done. But what I'm saying is, so we talking like 34, 35. You understand what I'm saying? When Sugar Ray got beat by Norris, he retired after that. Came back, got beat by Camacho at 40. So if it's all this talk about he was washed, no, he wasn't washed up. Terry was just better. And I tell people, if you go look at that fight and you don't see Terry's ability, you're a fucking asshole. If you telling yourself, oh, it's because Ray, no, bullshit. How you just go beat Donnie Lalonde? How you, and then all of a sudden now, And you know what you go and you fight motherfucking um 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 Terry Norris. All of a sudden now, a couple of months later, you're old. The fuck out of here, man. And Ray was that dude. I liked both of them. I was a kid when they fought, and I remember going, I think Terry gonna beat him. I told you, all the older guys in the room, I don't know, man. We gonna see, but hey, why you think he gonna beat him? And I said because Terry can do everything Ray could do, but he's faster. He's more energetic, and he moves better. He's more effective with his movement than Ray is. Ray will move, he'll jab with the movement, but that was welterweight Ray. You know what I'm saying? Like saying like we don't know. Like even in listen, I'm not even saying that Ray wins, and I'm not saying that Ray loses. I'm saying those things. Remember how he fought Duran in the second fight, and how he would jab and move, fake move, jab, and like he was right. Okay, well, you got to understand, Terry is smart as well. Now, if he could bait Terry into coming in and just fighting stupidly, okay. But bottom line is, what I'm saying is, when you get to a point in your career where you fight differently, like example, look at Tyson Fury. Tyson Fury hasn't been fleet of foot for years, but he adopted a different way of just staying back and laying behind his jab and keeping it long. But like I said, everybody got gassed up because of the way he fought Deontay Wilder. Like he just gonna be walking motherfuckers down. I told y'all, no, he's not. That's not even in his style. He just knew he could do it with Wilder. It's funny how when I tell you motherfuckers something, right? People get in their feelings, but then the outcome is exactly what the fuck I say. And instead of airheads going, damn, this motherfucker was right. No, it's just a coincidence. Just a coincidence. Yeah, it's just a coincidence. I stuck my middle fingers up at you dumb motherfuckers. This is what I be talking about, man. Like, we're not here to motherfucking make excuses for nobody. That's the other channels. We don't do that shit over here. So, I'm not going to go make no separate Winky Wright and Bernard shit. I can't that shit. I just looked at his style, man, and I'm like, yeah, Winky, you know why Winky, look, Shane always had a problem with boxers. He didn't have a problem with punchers. He had a problem with boxers. Boxers. Always. Everybody that beat Shane was a solid boxer. Not one motherfucker beat him was like some just punching motherfucker. It was always a boxer. So when I look at Winky Wright style, the Winky with the elbow, because you gotta understand when you're here, you're blocking, you're keeping your hands up, but you're not able to land shit. But he would step with his jab. A slick boxer is gonna move out the way. You know what I'm saying? They're gonna move. Them shots going over them, they're gonna kind of crack him to the body, come over the top of that shit. And bottom line, like Bernard started doing to him. And people like, I get, look, Bernard Hopkins was a good fighter, man. But let me tell y'all something, man. If you ask the majority of the people, you want to compare them to the four kings, they say, hardly anybody would pick Bernard to beat them. Hardly anybody. When I look at Bernard Hopkins, right? Bernard couldn't handle movement and speed. And Bernard Hopkins, like they say, he won ugly fights. But it wasn't just a Chad Dawson being bigger thing. Antonio Tarver was bigger. Bernard never could handle a jab and speed and movement. It always gave him problems. And you see the way Bernard fight. Bernard literally runs. He like I'm talking like he would literally run to get distance and then hop away and then jump in with them shots and grab you, hit you on the side where the ref can't see and all that shit, try to walk you back, tie you. He does little shit. He'll literally run to separate, right? He didn't give a fuck how bad it made him look, but that's the shit he did. It worked for him. Now, if you put Bernard Hopkins, because he got a late start in boxing, we'll put him in there with Nigel Benn, Chris Eubanks Jr. and them now, a younger Joe Calzaghe. Can we just say we think he would have beat all of them? Like confidently he would have beat all of them dudes? I don't think so. Now, we'll never know. I think Roy could have beat them. And this is the point what I'm saying. Roy Jones and Bernard had a weird situation Because, like I said, on the first fight, they both want to come up. Now, Roy claimed he hurt his hand in that fight. But at the same time, and that's why, he didn't do more. That's what he said. Okay. But at the same fucking time, it's like he want to claim dominance over guys that that are great or, go in the Hall of Fame and all that. But you got two. But there's a lot of people, in my opinion, that would beat Bernard Hopkins. A lot of people that would beat Jaems Toney. So when you talk about how great these guys are, okay, cool. Two guys of your generation that you defeated. Now, if Roy Jones, even with all them 10 losses, if that motherfucker would have beat Nigel Benn, Chris Eubanks Jr., Steve Collins, who else we got? Who else? Gerald McClellan. If he'd have fought them motherfuckers, Julian Jackson, the body snatcher, Mike McCallum, when he was younger, if he would have fought them dudes, right? That's 7 dudes right there. 7. Now imagine that motherfucker. Now he got Bernard Hopkins and Toney on that list as well. Virgil Hill was alright, man. Virgil Hill was never no great fighter. He was alright. He was, because he was alright. Because even when he lost to Thomas Hearns, man, Thomas Hearns was dominating Virgil Hill. Virgil Hill was alright, man. And let's stop calling people great to the point where we act like these motherfuckers, like I said, they was more than human. No, he was alright. But you know what I'm saying? And my whole thing about Roy, man, is like, I watched that motherfucker whole career, and I'm like, yo, Roy was that dude. Nothing that I say is to slight the motherfucker like trying to take from his career. No, I'm saying his career was what it was. We're not going to sit here and act like he beat the best dudes, because he didn't. He beat 2 of the best guys, and Bernard was on the come up at that point, just like Roy was. But, at the same time, what I'm saying, it's not like he went up and beat Lennox Lewis, and them other 7 motherfuckers that I just named, that was in his, at the time where he could have fought them. That's not like he did that. You know what I'm saying? So when he fought Jeff Lacey, did he fight Jeff Lacey? Like him saying, Roy Jones trying to discredit Floyd, talking about he waited till Floyd got old, to Pacquiao got old. What the fuck you mean he waited for him to get old? He's older than Pacquiao. Okay, Roy Jones, you're older than Jeff Lacey. Why you didn't fight Jeff Lacey like he said? If I wait for somebody to beat James Toney, what the fuck you mean? If I wait for somebody, motherfucker, you lose. Because let's be real, if James Toney, if Michael Nunn didn't start to get tired and get careless like he did, he got careless. He wins a unanimous decision. He got caught. So what the fuck you talking about? James Toney almost lost to Michael Nunn. He almost lost. The fuck you talking about? And I think he got knocked down in the 11th round. So even if James Toney would have won those last 2 rounds, he would have lost the fight. Because Michael Nunn was bagging up rounds on him like a motherfucker. So he almost lost. So if you going to say that, well, they're talking about Floyd wait for people to get... Okay, so why the fuck didn't you fight Jeff Lacey when he was younger? Why you didn't fight Joe Calzaghe when he was younger? And you're 4 years older than Calzaghe. You understand what I'm saying? Why you didn't fucking call out Felix Trinidad when he was younger? This is what I'm saying to you. And if y'all wasn't in the same weight class, duh, ain't that the same thing as Winky Red and Floyd? They wasn't in the same fucking weight class. Hey, listen, I'm just giving it to y'all raw. I want to close this fucking video, and I just want to talk about other shit that I'm not going to make a separate video about. So this is my way of, because like I said, I fuck lives. I can't do lives consistently, and I don't never really know what time I'm going to be able to, so I make the longer videos so y'all can just chill, put me on and just listen. You know what I'm saying? But go work on these traps some more. Yeah, and I'm not stiff and tight, man. I'm loose as a motherfucker. Fast as shit. Hit hard than a motherfucker. Feet, knees, elbows, everything. I take care of me. I'm not here to glaze these fucking fighters, man. They just people. Yeah, man. This boxing game has changed so much, and I'm seeing everybody trying to monetize. Everybody wants to be the villain, the bad guy, the tough guy. Everybody want to, but it's crazy because it's like, You're doing all of this to try to stay relevant. And it's obvious. Look at your age, man. Look how you're acting. I mean, that's like bitch shit. I had females do that shit. Keep bringing your name up. Keep bringing your name every chance they get because they wanted to get back to you. And then when you see them and they scared to look at you, but then you don't say nothing to them, they wondering if you know. Because they just want to break the ice. They want attention. That's what this shit feels like, man. A grown ass man in his feelings. I mean, he did the same thing back in the day. I told y'all. Y'all remember that shit? Go type it in if you never seen it. It's Michael Jordan, Serena Williams, Derek Jeter, Warren Sapp, Roy Jones. It might have been one more person there. I'm not sure. I think, well, I can't remember who it was, though. In that same interview, and they're talking about careers and glazing each other and shit, and Roy's talking about how when he wanted to fight Tubbo because somebody was telling him Scottie Pippen better than Roy Jones. And I'm like, so somebody has an opinion that you don't agree with, and you want to fight a motherfucker. Listen to that. You wanted to fight the dude because he's telling you Pippen is better than Jordan. I don't think no basketball player is better than Jordan. But if you do, I don't give a fuck. I'm going to get in my fucking feelings and want to put hands on one of you motherfuckers because you think Jordan isn't that. I don't give a fuck what y'all think, man. Your opinion is your opinion. So he always had these little sissy ass vibes of like, man, somebody said something about you know, like who the fuck are you, man? That you like you the gatekeeper of name calling, motherfucker. You can say what you want to say, but nobody else can. Nah, that's not how that shit works, man. He got in his feelings because fuck Fat Joe anyway. Remember that? Even Roy Jones was forced to lean back. Y'all heard about the story, how he ran up on him with Chopper and all them, and you know, but Fat Joe got a bunch of dudes that's pretty much gonna stomp him out and probably kill him after he do whatever. All this shit about, okay, I'll die for what I stand in. Yeah, you ain't die for what you stood in that day. You got the fuck up out of there, didn't you? And what did this shit come down to? You got in your feelings because Tarvin knocked you out and Roy and Fat Joe said something about it in the song. Okay, cool. You did what you did, but you didn't stand for what you believed in. You got the fuck up out of there. He's pleading with you, telling you like, yo, man, nah, it was just a song. It wasn't nothing personal. You got your ass up out of there. I'm saying, let's be real. All this getting your feeling shit because somebody says something, then that should make you watch what come out of your fucking mouth. But once again, man, ran up on a motherfucking non-fighter. Fuck Fat Joe though, but you ran up on the non-fucking fighter. Now you calling out a fucking welterweight. You was showing the same similar type of hate to Errol Spence, talking about how Errol Spence ain't fight nobody a real welterweight, but you fought little ass Vinny Pazienza and then made excuses. And this motherfucker had this is after his neck was broken, and he came up and ballooned up and gained all that weight to come fight you. And you got the nerve to talk about Floyd's career, man, and you fought Vinny Pazienza. Like real shit. You fought Vinny Pazienza, man. All right. I'm just saying. Now, let's see how long he ignored Jaems Toney for saying that Ali was trash. Talk to me in the comment section, y'all. Never fall in love with lies. Remember, the truth brings hate out of people, and I will catch y'all on the next video.